Tristan,
what a
Phil,
fabulous group. We want
their strengths and weaknesses.
There's a strange bunch on board this boat. There really, really, really is. We've got, okay, so husband Hans. Here we have a true intellectual, someone who has lots of IQ. I believe that there's two forms of intelligence. There's intellectual intelligence, IQ, and there's emotional intelligence, EQ. Intellectual intelligence is something that you read, you know, it sometimes incorporates wisdom, but emotional intelligence is more that intuition and that knowing, that sense of knowing, that ability to read someone's emotions, okay? So Captain Hans's strengths, I would have to say, is his incredible mind. He has a brilliant mind. His ability, his foresight, his intuition, he has an uncanny ability to predict, actually. Years ago, before the Berlin Wall came down, he predicted that. And I scoffed at him and said, you've got to be, why would that happen? And he explained why, and it did. The city in India, he claimed that there would be a city found, and there was. And so he makes these statements which seem a little bit odd to mainstream people, and years later they turn out to be correct. So he has this, through his knowledge, through his wisdom, he can have a perception through that, but he lacks the EQ. So his weakness is that he knows in himself what is right, and so therefore sometimes is unable to hand over to anybody else that responsibility because he knows that he is right. We have Phil. Phil is a newcomer on board the boat, and Phil has been fabulous for Southern Sun. I'm a passionate, sometimes overly EQ type of person. Doesn't mean to say that I don't have intelligence, but my intelligence lies in the emotional intelligence. So I will sense your moods. I get a sense of intuition of what's happening. I'll know if you're well or not well, and I'll be able to structure. The language skill is there to be able to communicate on your level. So Phil stepped into this amazing, passionate dynamics between Hans and myself, but he has the ability to be neutral. And that, I think, is a huge strength in itself, to be able to allow Hans and I to have our IQ and EQ debates together, and he is in the background, and then he will just step in with either humour or quirkiness. I know that I can lean on him and ask for his assistance because he's just great at supporting us where we need it. Occasionally he will put his foot down and let us know what he would like, and sometimes we listen to that, but he is really truly a great support person. Tristan is a very interesting individual in his right. Mothers usually say that their sons are great. I'm a bit of a hard taskmaster in that sense that a spade is a spade and I don't colour it. Tristan, I think, has a fantastic intelligence that he has acquired from his father's genetics, but he has a diplomacy that's been inherited from his mother's side of the family. So he's able to manoeuvre himself comfortably between the two. He very rarely loses his cool. He uses humour as a way of holding on to his security in the sense of his feeling out of sorts. Even when he's terribly, terribly sick on board, he still pulls himself up and supports physically in the role of being mate on board. I think we are very lucky to have the team that we have. It's a big ship, as in it's a big vessel because she's not a ship, but she is a vessel, and we term her as a ship because she's not a beautiful sailing vessel. She's handsome, but she's a workboat. Even though she's a big boat, there's still not a lot of space when you're at sea, when you're diving together and you're at close vicinity. So I think we're incredibly lucky that we've found a good balance in a team of, you know, ideas coming in, even if they're quirky or off-the-wall ideas, particularly when we're doing some work and we're finding anomalies and we're wondering what those anomalies can be. It's great to have good minds on board to come up with theories and ideas that we can test and we can challenge and we can come to an end conclusion from that. So for me, the teamwork is great. My strengths and weaknesses are my ability to compromise. There are many times that I have my own ideas on how we should approach, particularly if we've found an anomaly and we need to throw a shot line or we need to investigate. I have my own ideas on how I would approach that. And I have to know that I can offer up my idea, but I know I have to back down. I know that there is only one captain on board, and that sometimes can be, that could be quite frustrating, I guess, at times, but I've learned to compromise. So compromise is my greatest strength. Weaknesses, I don't know when to shut up. And I can get emotionally attached at times to ideas that, I would like to bring to fruition.